What is up? Welcome back. Do you like to do it, build it, or make it?
So do we.
And we have new videos each week. This week, we're gonna turn this drawing into a 3D wall plaque. It's gonna be 3 layers. Each layer is gonna have its own engraving from this drawing.
We had a request for a custom sign, and this is gonna be kind of an award gift type sign. And this is what we get. They ask, hey, can you turn this into a wall plaque? And I said, this hand drawing? Garrett said, I don't know, let me look at it. And then I jumped on the phone, had a little conversation, and she said some key words to me. Hey, this is called a mariner's cross. And I was like, oh, it's a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Now I might be able to find it, and we won't have to redraw this into something that could be turned into it. Garrett can do it. That just seemed like a lot of work.
That's
it's
just
already out there.
That's a lot of tracing or finding little bits and pieces to put together. So if it's a thing, let's go see if we can find it.
Right.
Step 1, we're gonna go image hunting. We're gonna see if we can find a better image than this drawing out on the internet somewhere.
We're going to show you how we do this, because sometimes this happens on the regular. Hey, can you turn this into a sign? Can you turn this logo into a sign? And we go do a little searching, a little sleuthing to see what's out there, if we can upscale this image and make it large enough that we can turn it into an SPG. So
not everybody has a high res of their own logo.
Right.
You would be surprised.
Yeah. Especially these military patches. A lot of times when we're doing these military patches, I literally just get a picture of the patch, and then I'm talking an embroidered patch. And then we have to go hunting for an actual image out there that we can turn into a cut file so I can make it a wall plaque. And that's what we're going to do here.
So we're going to start with a good old Google search, see what we come up with. I'm going to click on images, and we'll just do a scroll. Now, it sounded like this was a common thing, but just scrolling through, it doesn't look like it's a very common thing.
Well, it's a common thing, but for jewelry.
For jewelry, I see, yeah, jewelry.
And what we need is something that we can do a good image trace on, and all one color jewelry isn't a great start.
I mean, it's all jewelry.
Oh,
what? Did you see something?
I did.
You see something? What's this?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's still jewelry.
Oh, it's still jewelry. All right, no, I saw an image. Go back up. Slower. And keep going.
Oh, yeah, this thing?
Yes.
All right. I see you. All right, well, let's see what's down below first. I just opened it. We'll see what's down below. Oh, a lot of tattoos. Close, just half a body. Oh, and no wheel. All right, so I'm going to right click. I'm going to open in new tab. Now I'm going to right click, search with Google Lens. And over here on the right, it should give me some more. Looks like this is the image.
That's something for a tattoo over there, isn't it?
There's another tattoo. No Jesus. That one's looking weird. T-shirt. All right, well, it looks like this is the image that we're going to go with. I don't really see anything else. It's not as common as I thought it might be. Let's see what's down below here. No, that's it. This is the image. There's the one we're going with.
There's one out there. Let's do it.
Step 2, we're going to upscale our image. Now that we have our little 6x6 inch low resolution 72 pixel per inch image, that thing's not going to scale very well, and it's definitely not going to do a very good image trace. All right, back at the image, we're ready to upscale it. I'm going to right click, say copy image. Now before I jump into Photoshop and show you how to upscale it, let me show you what it would look like if we didn't upscale the image. I'm going to paste it into Illustrator, and let's just make this thing the 16 inches that we're going to need it. Now if I zoom in, you'll see that it looks very pixelated.
And you're not going to be able to engrave that.
I mean, it might engrave, but it's going to look choppy, and it's going to be hard to get a good image trace, especially with all these jagged edges that I could then come in and erase and make it 3 layers.
Yeah, it's very pixelated. Looks great when you zoom out. When you zoom in, it's a mess.
We'll just close this. Let's jump into Photoshop. I'm going to say new file. This has my clipboard size in it right there, my 447 pixels by 500 and my 72 pixels per inch. We'll say create. I'm going to paste this in there. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to upscale this thing. I'm going to go to image size. And I'm going to start by making this thing 16 inches. 16 inches. Let's drag it down so I look at his face. I want to see that pretty face. We're going to make the resolution 300. So this will divide some pixels, make everything a little bit tighter, kind of define the edges a little bit more, a little higher resolution, 300. And you'll see that it blows my picture up too.
Now you're focusing on the face.
Because that's kind of, I want to keep that detail.
It has the most detail, right?
Right. So I want see he's got some thorns over here, and this is at 100%. So I see some thorns over here that I want to keep. His eye. Now I like to use Preserve Details 2.0 because it gives me a nice crisp, clean look.
I mean,
well,
that's just
I'll tell you, like look at automatic. Automatic gets blurry.
And it's definitely going to lose some of those thorns, right?
Yeah, and his eye gets all weird.
Solid.
Thorn gets weird. Even if I use Preserve Details, I mean, barely any change. And then if I come down to like nearest, it gets really pixelated. So I've found that Preserve Details 2.0 works the best for what I try to do with it. And we'll say, okay. Now let's see, we're a lot bigger. Now, if I zoom in, you know, I'm at 100% now. He's looking pretty good. So now, before I start to sharpen anything, I'm going to remove some of the background. I don't want any stray pixels popping up later on when I'm trying to do an image trace. So I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. I'm going to grab the backer. Just select the backer. Now I just went to my magic wand. And I just clicked on the backer.
Okay.
I'm going to start to add to this though. So I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to zoom in a little bit without holding shift. So I can get this part in here. This part in here.
These are just additional selections then.
Yes. I'm just adding to my bay. Up in here, I'll take this guy. Now you see some marquee around some of these rando areas. So I'm just going to click near there to select those two. Get this one, this guy, get in here. Catch this guy up in here. Got that guy.
And you're holding the space bar to move it around, right? You're
Yep.
still keeping shift held and you push the space bar to drag it around.
Well, I let go of shift for a second. And if I hit the space bar, it gives me this tiny little hand. This tiny little hand will move my canvas around if I then click and drag. So I can move the canvas around with my tiny hand. Now that I have everything selected, I'm going to just delete. Nothing. It doesn't look like anything happened because my background's still showing. So we'll hide my background. Now I'll just do deselect. Zoom back in on his face area.
Now this is still a picture. All you're doing is adjusting the picture at this point.
Yep, I'm just adjusting the picture.
Okay. You're prepping the picture.
And because I'm here and I upscaled it and I removed some background, I want to adjust the black and white a little bit so I can get a better image trace. So with this layer selected, I'm going to go to image. I'm going to start with adjustments, levels. Now this is my black and white. So I can make things darker and I can make things lighter. But what I'm trying to do is, you see these little gray spots behind his head?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to get those to disappear. But I don't want to lose any detail in his face, so I'm going to drag the black back up just slightly. Try to bring back some of that detail.
Go all the way over. Let me see.
All the way over this way?
Oh, it starts to blend everything
Yeah,
too much.
that's too much. I want to keep just enough detail in his face where I don't lose any detail in his hair or in like the plank behind him. All right, that's looking pretty good. And I can also drag this one in the middle, go back and forth between them. It's looking good though. We'll say okay. And now I'm just going to export. File, export as PNG. Export. I'm just going to dump it back in my downloads. We'll say untitled, because I'm not going to keep this picture. I don't really care that much. Okay. There we go. Step 3, time to turn that PNG into an SVG.
Now that we've upscaled our PNG into something that we can work with, now it's going to be ready to image trace and make it into a scalable vector graphic. That's what we're going to do next.
Well, something like that we can actually send over to the laser. We're back to my little untitled PNG. Right click, open with Adobe Illustrator. And when it comes in, it's pretty big. So if I click on it, it's 66 inches wide by 74 inches tall.
Wow.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there for a minute while I do my image trace, because it's a whole lot easier to capture those pixels while they're big.
While they're big. Now, why are you using an Illustrator versus Photoshop in this step?
Because here I'm making everything a vector, whereas Photoshop is pixel based, so I can control the pixels there for an
Which
image.
is what we were doing, cleaning up the picture.
But now I need to convert all of that math, all those pixels into math, so I can send it to the machine.
So Adobe Illustrator is vector-based. That's what we're using for SVGs. Photoshop's photos.
Yep, Photoshop is photos. So I'm going to go over to my image trace tool. That's under Window, Image Trace. I'm going to click on my image. There's a bunch of presets. I'm just going to start with one of these presets. I'm going to start with Sketched Art. It's telling me that it's a huge image. It might take some resources. I get it. Yes. I want to zoom in on his face. Oh, wait. Before I do that, let's go ahead and Control Z. I want to make a copy of this guy first. We'll go back to Open. So before I get crazy and do an image trace, let's duplicate this image. And we'll hide the one underneath.
Then we can compare.
Then I can compare. Make
Okay.
sure my image trace looks good. Back to image trace. Now I'm going to do Sketched Art. Yes, I know it's large. Zoom in on his face a little bit. It looks a little crazy now. I want to address the threshold now. It's looking a little wonky, and if I drag the threshold down, you'll see that it gets lighter and there's less black. And if I drag the threshold up, it gets really dark. So what happens is any pixel that it picks up will now think it's just black. And if I drag it down, the less dark the pixel is, it's going to assume it's white. So I'm going to find like a happy medium, like around the 150, 145. Still looking a little crazy.
Yeah, I feel like you lost thorns on the left, right?
So if I'm losing detail, that means I need to add more paths or more corners. So I'm going to just bring this up to 98% paths, which will give me some more detail. It'll also give me a lot more anchor points. I'm going to do the same thing for corners. Bring that up to 98%. Now for noise, the more pixels it has, the more it will group them together. So I want all the noise because I want it pretty detailed. So I'm going to drag it down to 1 pixel.
Okay, so the higher the noise value, the more it's going to blend pixels and combine things.
Yes. All right, everything's looking good. So I'm going to expand this. And what that does is it converts all of this tracing into actual paths. So I'll say expand. Now I have my image trace up here, and we'll bring back my original image. It's laying up underneath.
I still think you're missing some thorns over there. See, there were 3. Can you put them back?
Yep, I can come back in and I can draw some thorns to put these back. So So what I'll do is I'll come over to my paintbrush tool, and if I hold it down, there's a blob brush underneath here. I'll just click the blob brush.
Easy for you to say.
And then I can use my parentheses to make the blob brush smaller and bigger. So I'm going to shrink it down. And now I can just start in the black and I can draw. If I bring that thorn back, connect these thorns and bring it back. I'll fix his nose a little bit. Give him a little bit of rounding in the nose. I'll round out this thorn. Maybe round out this guy as he's looking a little weak. Add a little to that one. All right, you see anything else that needs some fixins?
Can you make that? Yes. Straighten that? Yes.
Just make it a little beefier.
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right. Let's finish this curly Q. Hey. All right, I'll take away the bottom one. What do you think?
I think that looks good.
I might fatten this guy up just a smidge.
Yeah, definitely think about that if you're cutting. If you're creating this SVG to cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
We know all of the lines will be engraved for what we're doing with this particular project.
All right. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna keep this bottom one hidden. I don't need it anymore. If I need to come back, it's still there. But this guy is still like 61 inches wide. How big does it need to be?
5 feet.
16?
Yes.
All right, now we'll adjust it down to 16. So we'll come over. I'll say 16. There we go.
Wow.
A lot smaller. But look, we got to keep all that detail. All right, so that's a plus. Now in Illustrator, it's a little bit different. I can hit the space bar and then grab the canvas, or I can just press the middle button on my mouse and it does the same thing. So I'm gonna make a copy of this guy. I'm gonna hold Alt and grab him and just move a copy over here. Got a copy. I need another copy because this is gonna be 3 layers, right? So I need it to be cut out and engraved on each layer. So this is gonna be my bottom layer.
The plan here is you're gonna adjust each of these images and keep only the parts for that particular layer.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna need a second one of this guy because I need a cutout and an engrave.
That's the base layer, and then you need an engraved layer. Okay.
So Control C to copy, Shift Control V to paste in place.
You just pasted it right on top.
Right on top. Watch, I'll drag it over. See, there's 2. Control Z will put it back. Over here in my layers, you can see that it's highlighted. This is that layer, so I'm gonna hide it. Let's zoom in a little bit on this guy. I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna say ungroup. I'm gonna grab him again, ungroup. I'm trying to grab the outer edge. I'm looking for the outer shell until it stops telling me to ungroup. All right, and now it will allow me to release it. So I'm gonna release it, which will release all the paths.
So
now,
in my terms, it basically just fills the entire thing.
Kind of everything is its own separate path now. Where things used to be cut out of each other, it's just, everything is its own path. It's a free-for-all. But I still want some cutouts. Right? I want the cutout of the wheel. So I'm gonna select this, and if I hover over stuff, they'll highlight. I'm gonna hold Shift and select all the pieces of the wheel. And then he's got these 2 parts in his arms. So I'm gonna grab this part and this part. I'm gonna say Control C. It's gonna copy everything. I'm gonna highlight everything. And I'm gonna come up to my window, my Pathfinder tool, and I'm gonna say Unite All. Now it's just one big blob.
So now all those little paths are gone.
Oh, they're all gone. It's all one big path now.
But now I want the inside of that ship's wheel to be gone, open.
Yeah. So I'm going to hold Control Shift V and pasted them all back into place. I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to go back to my Pathfinder tool and say minus front. So everything's back.
Oh, okay.
Now I need to change this into a different color. So I'm going to add some swatches. I'm just going to double click on this whole folder, add the whole swatch folder. And we'll change this to yellow for now. We'll go back to layers and we'll unhide the other layer. But because I did a minus front, it brought everything to the front. So we'll drag this layer back down to the bottom. There you go. There's a cutout Jesus that can be engraved. But we don't need all of the engraving. We're really only going to see the ship's wheel on this one. So I can erase all of this Jesus and everything. So we'll select just the black part. Control Z will put it back. It's still selected. I'm going to go to my eraser tool. And I can just start erasing things that's not going to get engraved on this layer. And to shrink my brush here or my eraser tool, again, it's the parentheses.
Well, those are brackets, right?
Is it brackets? Oh yeah, it's the brackets right next to the P. I'll just erase all of this stuff.
So the yellow keeps coming back because it's showing the other layer. Both layers are stacked on top of each other. The yellow is, that base layer is there, and this that you're erasing is another layer.
Yes, it's this layer that's highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have this layer selected, I'm only erasing this layer. It's not erasing the yellow.
Even though it looks like it right here.
Yeah, but once I let go of the erase tool, the yellow will come back. And I'll erase all this down in here. Now I'm not going to be perfect lining this up, so I'm going to leave a little bit of black around the wheel. All right, so this layer is done, complete. Now this layer won't have the wheel, but it will have the anchor and Jesus. So I'm going to select this guy. And I'm going to remove the wheel. Whoops, I got a little crazy. Control Z. Got a little crazy with the erase tool. Get up under his pit. It's hard to tell where Jesus stops and the wheel and stuff start. Like, I think that's part of the wheel, not Jesus. All right. Is that all that we need of this guy? I think so, right?
So this is getting engraved, and it's going to sit on top of what's over there on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Just add that back. Yep.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, so I'm going to make a copy because I'm going to need a third layer with just Jesus. So I'm going to hold Alt, grab him, and slide him to the side. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to say copy, Control Shift V to paste in place and hide that layer. I'm going to grab Jesus again. Oh, grab him again. We'll say ungroup, 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 and release. I'll grab his arm pieces. Arm, copy. We'll grab everything. We'll say unite up in our Pathfinder tool. Control Shift V to paste those little things back into place. Grab everything, minus front. We'll change this to yellow. We'll right click, arrange, send it back, and we'll unhide that other layer. And again, we don't need Jesus and stuff being engraved, so we'll erase all of the Jesus stuff. All right, here's the last one. We just need Jesus. So back to my erase tool. All right, what do you think? Looking pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll grab this guy, copy, and I don't need to paste it yet. I'll say ungroup, release, grab everything, unite, Control Shift E. Oh, I must have moved him. That's okay. Let's make this back here yellow. Yellow. I'll grab them and center them. All right, we're back to good. I'm gonna grab all of this yellow. Let's get ready to make it a cut file. So let's go select. We'll say same appearance. We're gonna lose the fill and we're gonna give it a red stroke. This is my stroke for cuts. And we're gonna leave all the other stuff black because that's gonna get engraved. Now I can go File, Export As, we'll say SVG, and we'll save in the downloads, export, and okay. Step 4, time to make our cuts and do our engraves. We're gonna take this 1/4 inch birch over to our AEON NOVA 14, and we're gonna engrave it, then cut it out. But first, we're gonna mask it so that the engrave residue doesn't get everywhere. We don't have to do any sanding. We can peel it and stain it.
Since this is going to be multiple layers, we're going to use this 1/4 inch so that as it layers, it's going to thicken it up and make it nice and stiff so it can hang on the wall. We considered using 1/2 inch, but that was overkill.
Oh, that got thick.
Yeah, that was overkill. So we did a little pre-testing and we think a couple of layers of 1/4 inch is right where we need to be.
Inside LightBurn, I'm going to import the SVG we just made. I'm going to set the engrave speed to 450 and the power to 50. We're going to say fill, and I'm going to go 200 lines per inch. Okay. And then for cut, my red line is the cut. I'm going to go 15 speed. We'll keep it at 50 power. We'll say okay. All right, let's send this to the laser and send. Step 5, we're gonna remove the masking and stain each layer.
So this is the sample that we provided, and it's probably hard to tell on film, but the cross, the ship's wheel, and Jesus are 3 different color stains. These 2 are a little darker. Jesus is going to stay light colored so that he pops in the front. And then I created a little stain board just so that I could see on the same material that we're using what the stain is going to look like as it penetrates. So I think I've got them picked out. Let's see how it looks.
Yeah, it's looking pretty cool already. Step 6, it's time to glue it down. We're gonna use a little bit of Starbond Thick and a little bit of wood glue. We're gonna use the Starbond Thick to hold it now and the wood glue to hold it forever. We're just gonna glue all of our layers together, stack them, and glue it. There you have it. We took this drawing, we turned it into a PNG. We took the PNG, turned it into an SVG. We took that SVG and turned it into 3 layers of art.
Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, this is one of those projects where you're trying to take someone's
Dream.
yes
Vision in their head.
and then turning it into wall art. But I think we did it. It's beautiful. You did an excellent job.
I'm way more comfortable with taking somebody's logo and turning it into something like this than someone's dream or vision and trying to envision it with them and make it come to life.
Yeah, turn it
But
into
I
art.
think it worked. If she doesn't like it, I like it. I think it looks pretty badass. I mean, pretty badass. We're about out of time. We have to go deliver Jesus to a happy customer. You have to go find a PNG that you're going to turn into some art and then show us. And we love our patrons. A big thanks to all of our patrons. We love you guys. And that is the best way to support this channel.
And don't forget, our Jamboree is coming up June 6th through the 8th. It is an on location here in our shop. Come hang out with us. Make and take sessions all day for 2 days. A little fun in the evenings.
You get to play with all the toys. You get to play with some desktop lasers, some RF lasers, some, I forgot what kind of lasers. All kinds of lasers, UV printers, roll-to-roll, flatbed. Come hang out with us.
We've got sponsors coming to join us. We know at this point, Lone Star Adhesive, Monarch Pine, they'll be here. They'll help do some of the demonstrations. So come hang out with us. And we got more vendors on the way.
Oh, I gotta go out like this.
Oh, don't even think about
Yeah,
that.
it's coming in. It's happening. Oh, look at that. Well, the balance in this artwork is just amazing. So it just made that a lot easier.